Hey fellow YouTubers, this is N0AGI. I'm here to do another video on this NIXIE TUBE Tester project. So I completed my breadboard testing, and you saw that in my previous video. And I briefly showed you this box here that I'm gonna use for my NIXIE Tester project. So what I've done just now, in fact, I got these are N0AGI NIXIE tube holders, and I made a contraption to it so I can fit this underneath this box here to hold the NIXIE tube. And I got a whole bunch of these from Moldova. And I got about 50 of these. There are 4 in each of these wrappers, and I got 2, so there are 48 in the wrappers, and I got 2 of them separately. So anyway, so the goal is to get this mounted underneath this box here, and then make sure it's all housed, all of the circuits, etc. are housed inside of the box. And I'm gonna cover this decal and make my own, and then use these pre-existing holes for switches and such, and even potentiometers. So that's my goal. So I just got these soldered. The holder is soldered with the connection wires. The purple wire is the anode that carries the 170 volts DC. The rest of them are obviously ground connections. So basically what I'm trying to do is take whatever I have, replicate this into this box. I'll probably end up making a crude PCB myself and use that to get this going. I don't want to remove any of this because I want to go back to this and make sure. So for example, this is working just fine. So I want to make sure I use this as my reference before I take this apart. I got plenty of these chips and whatever is required, so I'm going to replicate that into this box, and then I'm gonna come back. So let me get this mounted, and then I'll be right back. So here it is, the installed holder, the NIXIE tube holder, and mounted that on the pre-existing access point here. And underneath that, I have basically used some hex nuts or hex screws rather, and then secured that together. And what I will then do later on is make sure which wires are for which digit, I guess, and then make sure we get that going once I get all the PCB and everything together. Alright, I'll be right back. Hey fellow YouTubers, this is N0AGI. I'm here to do a short update on the NIXIE TUBE Tester project. You must have seen my previous videos, the part 1, 2, and I believe the one before, part 3s, I think. This would be the last update on that project. There's still some cosmetic things that I need to fix on this final project here, a final product here. But I just wanted to give you a quick summary of where the project landed. So this was a local Axeman store product I picked up, this box here, and then I painted it firecracker red, and I transferred the PCB I built based on my previous breadboard project, and then transferred that onto this box here. Right now the functionality is fairly limited, so let me see if I can get this to let me see if I can. Okay, so right now the functionality is fairly limited. There's an on-off switch. There's the discharge capacitor potentiometer here that controls the speed, the power indicator LED, and the 4-bit counter, and of course the NIXIE tube. The NIXIE tube can be mounted on this holder that I showed in my previous video. This one here on the top that has no functionality for now, but it's got a nice plug-in socket in there that can have other purposes in the future, but for now that's not used. So anyways, the box came with pre-drilled holes, so they're gonna be there for now, and then eventually once I expand the functionality, I'll probably add some switches to it. One of the things I was thinking about is to, rather than having this go automatic, I can have a switch to do a manual counter. So instead of an astable 555 timer, I could swap that on a flip of a switch to go monostable. So I think that would be the plan, and we'll see. But for now, as you can tell, I can change the speed, which is really the discharge time, and then the on-off switch. If I can get this to stand properly, the on-off switch, and that's pretty much it. So I have these other, let me see if I can switch off the power and the lights rather. Anyway, so I have these other NIXIE tubes that I can do some testing with quickly and make sure they're all working. I haven't had a chance to test those 49 or so yet, so this will give me an opportunity to do some testing. One other thing I want to show you guys is once I switch it off, let me see if I can set this up like so, and I can one sec. Okay, I can take the NIXIE tube out of the holder, set it aside, and I can close this box, latch it, and then it goes with you. I was telling about some cosmetic changes. I'll add a wall wart socket in here on the side somewhere. For now it's just hooked onto the wall here. I'm getting in a 12-volt supply. I used a voltage regulator to create a 5-volt bridge for the timer and the counter circuit, and then the 12-volt goes into the high voltage DC to DC boost. So that's what's in the box. Nothing different from what I had shown you in my previous videos on the breadboard. So basically I took that, converted that onto a simple PCB, and hand soldered all the connections between the pins, etc. So anyway, so that's a quick summary. Alright, again, thanks for watching, and if there's any feedback, would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.